recently read an article on The Cut called "What If You Just Didn't Clean That Up?" and I'll link it down below, but essentially the author announced that America has entered its messy house era. She discusses how on TikTok it really led to this movement because people were sharing these honest tours of their home, showing the real life daily mess as opposed to that Instagram perfect home that we have all seen for so long. How even Marie Kondo has said her home is not always tidy with kids. So have we really entered the messy house era where we throw all cleaning caution to the wind? Let's dive in on this a little bit more. So I, for one, do love the honesty behind a lot of the content the author mentioned, people sharing real looks at their home. You guys know, if you have followed me for any period of time, I try to keep things pretty honest and real with you when it comes to tidying, that no home is always picture perfect assuming you're living in it. There's always going to be mess and clutter and stuff, and I've shared time and time again that trying to chase the Instagram picture perfect home isn't realistic. And not only that, but it's likely detrimental when you realize that no one can actually live in a house like that, or at least that 99% of people can't. And I argue that you shouldn't, because I think if you're living in your home, you should be cooking and hosting friends and maybe raising babies or pets and indulging in hobbies and hopefully dancing in your kitchen, so it's just not gonna be picture perfect every moment. And that's why I find it so interesting when people are amazed that someone like Marie Kondo's home could be untidy. Like, we really truly believe she just lived in this picture perfect uncluttered mess all of the time, that these perfectly curated photos are really the reality people are living in 24/7. And we see these images of perfect homes and then we look around at our own reality and it makes us feel like we are failing. If our home doesn't look like that, it's simply because I must be messy or lazy or just a slob. And so it becomes extremely liberating and refreshing when someone shares a home tour online that's actually honest. Like, wait girl, you have a basket of clean laundry in your living room that needs to get put away too? Yeah, of course I do, because I am doing laundry every day, all day long. And so the question is, have we entered our messy house era? Will we swing the pendulum all the way from one side of picture perfect to the other side of utter disaster and just be okay with it? I love that we're coming down to what reality is for a home when you've got 2 full-time working adults and maybe kids, and what that really looks like for a normal family. But I also don't really want that to personally give me a free pass to just say, okay, cool, so that means I don't need to clean anymore, problem solved. Because I won't lie, in some of these TikTok videos that I've seen of people sharing realistic, messy home tours, I've cringed a little at some of the really bad ones. Just like I've cringed at some of the perfectly created home tours where not a single pillow is out of place. Because I don't think that either is a livable reality. Now, obviously, what's livable is different for everyone. I'm just painting a broad brush here. Ideally, what I think is we want to find a way to fall somewhere in between. That in-between spot's gonna be different for all of us depending on our lives, but just as much as I think trying to live up to the unrealistic standards of an Instagram perfect home is detrimental to our health, I also think there is huge risk in just completely ignoring our mess too. In my many years of creating content about organization and keeping a tidy home, I've read a lot of studies about clutter and stuff and mess, and without a doubt there is a direct correlation between a messy home and anxiety, stress, procrastination, poor sleep, avoidance behaviors like bad eating, higher cortisol levels, and depression. And so while I applaud that we have drawn back the curtain to show the average home isn't picture perfect, spotless all the time, I don't think the response should be that we say, okay, thank God I didn't want to clean anymore anyways, I'll just live with the mess. I think the real goal here needs to be to stop cleaning our home for other people and instead embrace cleaning a home for us, not cleaning for some figurative guest that may come in and judge the placement of our pillows. It should be about creating routines and systems that make our lives easier and make living in our home more enjoyable and less stressful for us. So what does this mean? It means obsessing less over the dust bunnies in the corner of our living room or trying to make everything look picture perfect, and instead focusing on the tasks that will make your life and your home easier and reduce your anxiety. I love the quote from the article where she says, "Cleaning rituals have gone from private forms of ritual pleasure and devotion to performances of efficiency and competence loaded with moral significance." She's discussing how cleaning should be and used to be a ritual to feel good, how wiping down your counters could be a form of praying. And I totally agree with that statement. I think that tending to your space is a form of self-care. And that's why I can't get on board with just throwing all caution to the wind and letting your space be a total disaster. Just as trying to live up to an Instagram perfect home is is detrimental to our mental health, choosing to do nothing is too. Because a livable space is something we deserve. I believe it's a form of self-care to wipe your sink clean so you can come down to a clean sink in the morning and not have to stare at a mess with your morning coffee. It is a form of self-care to have clean clothes to wear. It is a form of self-care to open your kitchen cabinet and find what you need to make the meal that you're trying to make. But the point she makes is that cleaning had sort of moved away from this, or it was moving away from this. That it was no longer about cleaning for us in our own self-care, but it more was about cleaning for the moral significance of cleaning, because it is cleaning that makes us morally good. I think women, especially mothers, have this feeling a lot of that our self-worth hinges on these home care tasks. That a good mother has a tidy home with home-cooked meals and folded laundry and kids with well-groomed hair. So it feels like if we're failing at one of these care tasks, then we're failing as mothers or as women. But here's the thing that I think is important to remember. Everything in life is a scale. We tend to like to look at things as black and white, right? Good and bad, right and wrong. That's just easier for our minds to contextualize, but in reality, most things are gray. There's somewhere between right and wrong and good and bad and black and white. And that's why so many times over and over again, I've shared how keeping a tidy home isn't about having a home that is always tidy. It's not about clean or unclean. Having a home that is somewhat organized and some level of tidy, some decrease in clutter, is typically better for our mental health than doing nothing. And so maybe this means when you're doing laundry, you just get clean clothes into the dresser but you don't fold them. So what if they aren't folded? Because at least they are put away. They're not strewn in the bedroom or lying out on the chair, adding to visual clutter, making that chair unusable. You're saying, I don't have time to make this dresser picture perfect like Instagram shows me, but I can get the clean clothes into the dresser where they belong. So tomorrow morning when I wake up, I will have clean clothes to wear. Maybe this means spending 20 minutes at the end of your day clearing off your counters and filling the dishwasher. So you have clean plates to use tomorrow morning and cleared counters to make breakfast, but you don't get to wiping down the appliances or deep cleaning the inside of your microwave, because you are choosing what gives you the most value, not what looks pretty in a picture. So once again, I ask, have we entered our messy home era? I don't think so. I have to politely disagree with that statement, but I do think we have entered a more honest home era. One where we can live in a home that works for us, not a home that we're creating for other people. And if you're looking for some simple, realistic, attainable ways to stay organized and tidy without trying to live up to the Instagram perfect home, then I'm your girl. I'm gonna link some of my best videos down below to get started with. I have a 30-day challenge to a cleaner home. It's this like realistic schedule that can help you stay on top of cleaning in a way that actually makes sense for living in your home. I've gotten so many messages from those of you who have done the challenge talking about how it changed your life. And I love that, because I am not someone who used to be tidy at all. And I know that feeling of defeat and overwhelm and anxiety that it creates when you can't find anything, when the clutter is making you feel stressed out. And I know that simple routines and habits that I share really can make a difference in a way that feels totally doable. As always, thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Remember to be kind to yourself and others, and I will see you all in my next video.